A shocking look into the dark history of showcasing exotic peoples. For centuries, curiosity and fascination with the unfamiliar and exotic have driven people to explore different cultures, peoples, and the unknown. In the past, many Western societies driven by a desire for knowledge and a sense of superiority displayed living, breathing human beings in degrading spectacles called human zoos. These exhibitions featured indigenous and exotic people from around the world, showcased as curiosities, subjugated for entertainment and education. In this in-depth look at the dark history of human zoos, we will examine examples from various European countries and America, the motivations behind these exhibitions, and their impact on the people who were displayed in the societies that hosted them. Belgium and the Congo. One of the most notorious examples of a human zoo occurred during the 1897 Brussels World Exhibition in Belgium. In a section of the exhibition called the Congo Village, Congolese people were forced to live in a simulated African village. Visitors could watch them perform everyday tasks, such as cooking and weaving, or witness them perform traditional dances for their amusement. Tragically, these exhibitions not only subjected the Congolese to dehumanizing conditions, but also exposed them to foreign climates and diseases. Many died during their time in Belgium, and their remains were later used for scientific research. France and the Parisian World Fairs. Human zoos were also prevalent in France, particularly during the Parisian World Fairs in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Indigenous peoples from various French colonies were displayed in these exhibitions, including Africans, Asians, and Pacific Islanders. They were often showcased as primitive, exotic, and uncivilized, reinforcing racial stereotypes and justifying colonial domination. At the 1907 World Fair in Paris, a controversial exhibit called The Little Senegalese Village showcased African men, women, and children living in artificial huts while performing various tasks and ceremonies for the entertainment of fairgoers. Germany and the Hagenbeck shows. In Germany, human zoos became popular through the work of Karl Hagenbeck, an animal trader and zookeeper. He organized the first ethnographic human exhibits in Europe, displaying Samoan and Laplander people at his zoo in Hamburg. Hagenbeck later staged exhibitions in various European cities, showcasing indigenous people from Africa, Asia, and the Americas. These exhibitions served to bolster the idea of European racial superiority and further dehumanized their subjects, who were often viewed as mere objects or attractions. The United Kingdom and its empire. In the United Kingdom, human zoos were used as a means to showcase the vast reach of the British Empire. During the 1851 Grand Exhibition in London, living specimens from different colonies were displayed to highlight the diversity of the empire. People from India, the Americas, Africa, and the Oceania were displayed in artificial environments that were meant to resemble their homelands. This served to reinforce notions of British imperialism and superiority while simultaneously perpetuating stereotypes of exoticism and primitivism. Italy and colonial exhibitions. Italy, too, organized colonial exhibitions that featured human zoos as a means of demonstrating national power and prestige. In 1911, to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the unification of Italy, a large colonial exhibition was held in Turin. The exhibition featured hundreds of indigenous people from Italian colonies in Africa, including Eritrea, Somalia, and Libya. These people were displayed in mock villages and forced to participate in parades, further reducing their humanity to mere entertainment for the Italian public. America and the World Fairs. In the United States, human zoos were a prominent feature of many world fairs, particularly in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. At the 1893 World's Columbian Exposition in Chicago, an entire area known as the Midway Plaisance showcased people from various cultures, including African, Middle Eastern, and Native American tribes. These displays perpetuated racial stereotypes and cemented the idea of white American superiority over the primitive and exotic cultures. Another notorious example occurred during the 1904 St. Louis World's Fair, where thousands of indigenous people from around the world were brought to live in mock villages. One particularly infamous exhibit was the Philippine Village, which showcased over 1,000 Filipinos from various tribes, even including the Igorot tribe, who were labeled as dog-eaters. The fair aimed to demonstrate America's colonial power in the Philippines, but it also served to further racialize and dehumanize the people on display. The Nordic countries and the Sami people. Human zoos were not exclusive to the larger European countries and America. In the Nordic countries, the indigenous Sami people were often put on display in various exhibitions throughout the late 19th and early 20th centuries. These exhibitions typically took place in Sweden, Denmark, and Norway, and were designed to showcase the Sami people as exotic and primitive. Their traditional clothing, customs, and way of life were exhibited for the amusement of the European public, who regarded them as an oddity rather than as fellow human beings. The end of human zoos. By the mid-20th century, the public's attitude towards human zoos began to change as the horrors of the Holocaust and the fight for civil rights exposed the dangerous consequences of racism and discrimination. As a result, human zoos were gradually phased out, and the last known human zoo exhibit took place in Belgium in 1958. Reflection and consequences. The history of human zoos serves as a stark reminder of the depths of human cruelty and the exploitation of vulnerable populations for entertainment and colonial ambitions. The exhibitions perpetuated racist ideologies, dehumanizing their subjects and reinforcing the sense of superiority of those who viewed them. These human zoos have had lasting consequences on the descendants of those who were exhibited, who continue to grapple with the legacy of trauma, discrimination, and the commodification of their ancestors. Many communities, such as the Congolese, Sami, and Igorot, have had to face the ongoing effects of these exhibitions on their cultural identity and dignity. In recent years, there have been efforts to address the dark history of human zoos through art, documentaries, and educational initiatives. By acknowledging and confronting the disturbing past, societies can work towards understanding, reconciling, and healing. As we continue to explore the complex histories of different nations and peoples, we must recognize the importance of treating every individual with the dignity and respect that they deserve, regardless of their cultural background.